This is still AM Chart, and this morning we'll be looking at the effect of plastic pollution in our environment. You may be wondering, plastic pollution. I once saw a particular video that shows that most of, in fact, the biggest oceans all over the world are clogged up with plastic. Right over there, overing around. One of these days I'm going to bring one of those videos and I'm going to show you. And then let's look at our own environment. If you go towards the Third Milan Bridge and you're looking at approaching, Okari, and you look into the bridge and you look down the bridge a little, you'd see as many waste as possible. People just take up their plastic, drink their water, and inside they just believe that they've disposed of it. Some people don't have dustbins, they don't have drums in their house. They feel once they're traveling on the bridge, they can just dump their waste into the water. And this all the things, the water keeps moving. Like people move, water moves, so the water keeps moving the waste, and then moves it over there to the back of your house. So you still think that throwing the waste away is good? We're going to be looking at the effects of all of that this morning. And I have with me in the studio, as I said earlier, I have Engineer Shabi. Engineer Shabi is the essay to the governor on Cleaner Lagos initiative. He's been working on this project for quite a while, so he has a lot of insight into this issue. And I also have with me Miss Omo Alokwe. Am I correct? Yes, so Miss Omo Alokwe is here with us in the studio, and she's an environmentalist, and I know that she's understudying recycling and all that.
Yes.
She's planning to start to go into.
Yes, I'm doing something
Okay.
with recycling and advocacy in upcycling as well.
Okay, so she's looking at an advocacy in upcycling. She's going to explain what that means. I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I only know that there is recycling. So now there's upcycling. Oh my God. So I'm learning. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the effects of plastic pollution on our environment. And we're going to start straight from the issue of flooding. Let's see, is there a reason for this? We'll look at this video. When we come back, one of our correspondents, Fatoki Kunle, looked at the issue of plastic waste and put together a package. We'll be looking at that package, and then when we come back into the studio, we'll go straight to our discussion. We'll be right back. Right there, you saw that video of some people throwing, that woman throwing something all over
garbage
from the top of the bridge. But that's what happens.
Exactly.
That's what happens. We can keep looking at the video anyway. We'll still look at the video. Some people still keep, when you go to the market, you see heaps of refuse.
They throw it down to the drainage beside that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, and that's what you see. Do you know that on Third Milan Bridge, when you're traveling in the morning and going to the highlands, you see people actually park
their vehicles and throw their garbage.
And throw the garbage over the bridge. Some people do that on their way to work in the morning, or they slow down a bit and you see that flinging thing.
Flinging asphalt.
It's quite ridiculous, for real. And I keep wondering, why do people do that?
Why? I think they really need to be enlightened more about the adverse effects of this to the environment. It's a planet that we don't have any other planet to go to. If we don't take care of it, where do we want to run to when the adverse effects comes to us by our doorstep? It's actually there already with the flooding. It's there already. So people need to be enlightened more. If we just have to keep talking to them until when this whole thing reduces or comes to a stop.
You see, the government has been they've been doing a lot of intensive advocacy on this. But how we look at it that is attitudinal change. Our people don't want to change. There is no amount of talk
that will get them to do that.
Many people still believe I need to bring my waste and dump in the public and the drainage channels. Many people have their mindset. Anytime it rains, I have to bring all the garbage in my house
and put it in the river, because in the
you understand that
is
going to flow. But you mentioned something. This is a planet that we need to preserve. But many people don't know that what you have generated from your house will definitely come back to you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely come back to you.
Yes, it's true.
With that negative impact to you. We've been doing a lot of advocacy on this, involving all different stakeholders at the local government levels. The market women, the NGOs, the artisans, the CDA, CDC, Landlord and Tenant Association. But when you call for the stakeholders forum, you can only get maximum 200 or 300 people, right? What about the others? So that is why in Lagos State today, His Excellency Governor Kyomi Ambode said it must be a continuous exercise. You must not relent. And we've been gaining this.
Yes, I think
They were the least woman from the market now understands the reason why she needs to bag her waste. Because I've been letting them understand. Look at the issue of, I'm still coming to the issue of the plastic waste, plastic pollution. I'm talking about the waste.
Waste generally. We'll talk about
Look
waste generally.
Look at what you dump in that drainage channels and it blocks the waterways. Your environment is flooded, right? It comes back to you. Mosquitoes, they breed on this. It has now health impact, negative impact
on the people,
having malaria, dysentery, cholera, and so on and so forth. So look at what you have deposited in that channel and come back to you, using your own money again to treat yourself. So many of them are getting to understand bit by bit. So that is why we must not relent. It's a collective effort that all the NGOs, the people from outside the government, we must all come together to start changing people's mindset. Another aspect we need to look into is the people, as she said, when you go on Third Mainland in the morning, like early hours, 6 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m.
we begin to prosecute people for that?
No, we have that. The Lagos State Environmental Corps marshals.
They should park on top of the language.
We're definitely going to have,
2-3.
in the future, now we're going to have CCTV camera all over now. Now we're going to do that.
Yes.
Because you work in Lagos and you live outside Lagos. You bring your waste from Ogun State.
And you dump it.
You dump it in Lagos. Why?
I think as we have Loma, we say they had Ogroma.
Yes.
They still have Ogroma.
Yes,
sure.
they have. But the thing is that you have to look at the way each state, Lagos State, also, we're so conscious of our environment because of the population
that we have.
You understand?
We have a
Because when you
population
look at it,
explosion.
when you talk about the pollution, you relate pollution to population growth.
Yeah.
You understand? But the way we have been putting more effort to mitigate all this, people from other states, when they come in, they still don't understand. And you look at many people also migrating to Lagos every day. Over 40,000 annually coming to Lagos with different mindset from their various states.
From their various states and expectations as well.
So how do you change these people? It is by a continuous advocacy. That is what we have embarked on in Lagos State.
Going back to the attitudinal change thing, because for somebody who goes on Third Mainland Bridge and dumps his waste over the bridge, or maybe wakes up in the morning and then says very early, do you know, have you seen that before?
Yeah, we
wake up very
seen,
early in the
yes.
morning, you know?
Wind down and just fling
So
it out of
you're flinging outside the
What do you think we need to do, especially because we are Lagosians, we live in Lagos? What do you think we need to do, not just from the government perspective now, but as recyclers and upcyclers? But as the people in the environment, within our neighborhood, what do you think we need to do to ensure that our people understand the effect of dumping their waste just about anywhere?
Yes, number one, advocacy. Advocacy is key. Even if it seems so slow right now, we just have to continue with it. And we need, I think, I get to tell people about recycling, and I'll come to upcycling later. And people are like, what the hell is recycling? I was like, there was a time I traveled out of the country, and there was also in Nigeria, and with me we're discussing, and we saw a video about recycling, and he was saying something like, this doesn't happen in Nigeria. I was like, what? Are you just like yesterday? This happens all over, but you see a lot of people gather plastics. What do you think they use it for? That is the stage of recycling. So you know, when these plastics are gathered, they don't end up in the drainage, so they don't end up in the seas, they don't affect life. So I think a lot of people still don't know that we do recycling in Lagos, in Nigeria.
No, but really, I think this plastic gathering creates a means of livelihood for some people.
Yes, it does, because it's a source of raw materials. Yes.
For other products.
For other products. They can be changed into pellets and used as fibers to create other products, rubber mats, create more bottles. Yes, it's a source of raw materials. You know, when you have raw materials, you're going to buy the raw materials. So definitely it's a source of raw materials for manufacturers to create other products. That is the channel of recycling. So that people need to understand this and also understand the adverse effect. So apart from it clogging the drainage, this issue of climate change, it also does affect it, because once they are being dumped anyhow and organisms around react, and then they kind of emit some gas into the air. This is what causes global warming and the climate change. And you have a lot of, it's also what increases the annual rainfall and changes the climate. You know, all these things are intertwined. Apart from the public health, we also need to consider the environment, the climate change. So people need to understand that this planet, we need to keep it not just for our sake, but for future generations. We're actually borrowing the planet from the future generations. When they come, they're going to like want to do the mess we've created. They would not have start spending their time to deal with it. So instead of you can't have a child and then just give us something bad. No, you want to present something good to them. So definitely we are going to leave this planet. What are we presenting to our future generation? So we need to think about that. So if we don't want to think about it now, let us think about the future generation. What are we going to pass on to them?
Engr Shabi, we were talking about flooding earlier, and 4 states of the federation have been put on alert. Yes, flooding is happening all over the world right now. We have the Philippines. In the Philippines, over the last couple of days, they actually have disaster. You know, they had this typhoon that hit the Philippines and moved down. Now it's in China, and they're expecting to get to Hong Kong. So it's going all over the place.
Yeah,
and we have Florence as well.
Let me say something like that to you. You see, many people believe only in Nigeria we do illegal things. It's all over the world. I'm not going to name a country, but I've lived in that country for a while. You see, when you encroach on the wetlands, wetlands are receptors for water.
Okay.
When you encroach on the wetlands,
what does wetland mean?
I've just said receptor for water.
Okay.
But when you encroach, there's nowhere the water goes again.
Okay.
It now results into flooding. You understand? Many people all over the world, many countries are believing, okay, let's start building houses, and they've been encroaching on some of these areas. Even here in Lagos, we have encroached in a lot of wetlands in Lagos, and it's affecting us. It's only about 20% to 80% of waste contribute to the issue of flooding. The main of this is the drainage channels and the encroachment
on the wetlands.
So by the time you have encroached on the receptor, that receptor is, let me explain it to you, you understand. Canal is a receptor before discharging into the lagoon. Right? When you have encroached onto that, right, onto that canal, nothing goes into the lagoon. It goes back to the environment.
So it flows into the streets.
Yes.
It flows into the houses.
It is segments.
Yeah.
From the drainage channels to the canals, canals to the lagoon. So when that intermediary has been blocked, it's not going to get to the final stage.
Okay, so it recedes. It goes back to where it started.
That is the logic behind all this.
And then some people in Lagos now actually do not have. If you have a canal behind your house or very close by, they don't have what's this recess tank? What's it called? The tank, septic tanks in there. When they build, they actually lead their pipes into the canal.
Yeah, that is why you see the Ministry of Fiscal Planning and the state and some of the other agencies, they are out there to ensure people have these septic tanks
in the houses.
Yes. But you see, in an organized environment, you don't need all those septic tanks. What you need is a treatment plant. Not for private houses. Yeah. You understand? A communal
treatment plant. So everything will
be channeled into that plant and will be treated. What will be discharged into the lagoon is just normal water. Not even, sometimes that water might not even be discharged into the... It
could be reused.
Can be reused.
Somewhere in Florida, the water is being reused.
We reuse that. The state government, Lagos State, we've been doing a lot of advocacy for all these industries here that have all those plants in place. Instead of, look at many of these food and beverages industries.
They have something like that.
They use a lot of water. So you don't need to discharge that high volume of water into the environment.
You can just
it can be reused. After the treatment, you can be reused for your vegetation, washing of your vehicles, and some other things. You understand? So you see, these are the things that we have been campaigning about. That we must not encroach on our wetlands. That is number one. Number two, she mentioned something on the issue of the environmental sustainability, in the sense that what you do today, you have to look at the future. First thing that we must look into today is that the effect of the topic of today, like the effect of plastic pollution. What is that pollution? It is what you and I introduce into the environment that is harmful, that will alter that environment, and also, as you said, affecting the public health. Look at your waste. Introducing that waste into the environment. You understand? Affecting the state of that environment, resulting into flooding. Is that not affecting the environment?
Yes, it is.
Look at it. And also affecting the public health, the malaria, dysentery, and other things. So these are the things we need to look into. And when you talk of pollution, I mentioned earlier on, you relate pollution to population growth. You relate pollution to urbanization. You relate pollution to industrialization. Over 70% of the industries in Lagos and in Nigeria are in Lagos. You understand?
Yes.
So everywhere is highly polluted. So the state government, that is why we have some of these agencies that are there to control the management of the pollution, which is the pollution control management agencies. So on this issue of plastic, many people believe, you showed something on your program now.
Yes.
Plastics all over our lagoon.
Yeah.
Averagely in a day, people consume 15 million
bottles of water.
How? The population of Lagos is about 23 million. Let's pick 5 million people taking average 3 bottles of water on daily basis. That's about 15 million. In a week, 105 million bottles. Out of all these 105 million bottles in a week, 60% of this, or 70%, end up in the lagoon. 35 to 40% end up to the recyclers. So the state government is coming up with a measure now. We're going to create 57 centers in the state where people will bring in these plastics and get something in return. Because as she said, those plastics can be recycled and be turned to pallets. You understand? And it can be used as raw material for other products. There are a lot of things you can do with these plastics.
I'm even looking at the job.
That's why I've been saying, you see, this job opportunity, you bring and we give you something in return.
Exactly.
One, you're saving the environment. You're saving the human health. I'm going to tell you what that plastic causes to the aquatic lives. You and I cannot perceive the odor of the plastic, but it has a certain aroma that the fish feed on this. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fish feed on this, and you see the tiny teeth of the fish. You see, and by the time they bite on all these plastics, the little particles that cannot, you and I cannot even see, we settle in their gills. You think when you buy fish to clean up, you have not cleaned that up totally. That thing will definitely come back into your system
when you hit it.
So look at the bottled water you are taking and you throw it into the lagoon. See the way it's back to you.
So it's like a circle.
It's a circle. What you throw into the environment comes back to you. You see, I've been doing a lot of advocacy and I've been using myself as an example, and I say to many, when you see people with big tummy, you think it's in Nigeria they say it's money. It is not. It is pollution. One of the is plastic pollution. You have a lot of heavy metals and some plastics in your system.
Wow.
I'm serious.
Wow.
I'm serious.
That's something most people do not know.
Don't know. You see, that is why it is good for us and for you on the media side. Let us be educating
the people
to let them know what you throw into the environment will definitely come back to you. You might not even know that the bottled water you drank this morning, that you throw into the lagoon, next tomorrow you're going to buy fish, cook for your husband, and you think you have cleaned it up. You have not cleaned up anything. The little particles that the fish had fed on, you understand? You cannot even see with your eyes. So tiny, like about 0.002 in micrometer in diameter. You understand? And that will definitely come back
into the system.
That is why you see young ones in Nigeria and Africa today having different sorts of cancer. These are the causes of cancer today. Apart from the plastics, even your waste. When that leachate, you see, waste contributes to the issue of underground surface water pollution and air pollution. Are you getting it? Because of the gases coming out from the waste.
From the waste itself.
When that leachate percolates, it affects the underground water. And I've been doing a lot of demonstration to people when I go on advocacy. When you sweat, where does the sweat come from? From inside your body. It means we have pus on our body. When that leachate percolates, all right, and you now dig a bowl, you use that water to bath, all right.
Yeah.
That water penetrates into your body as well. I'm telling you, your waste created that leachate, all right, and that water that bowl you have dug in your house has been infected and it's coming back to your body. When that water is washed into the lagoon, it accumulates in the fatty tissues of the fish. You buy the fish, she buys the fish, you cook for us,
and you eat.
And it now magnified back into your system. Heavy metals, source of cancer. So that is why everywhere I go, I say to you, and I say to the public, what you put back in the environment will definitely come back to you. And there's nothing called waste anymore in the world, as she said.
Waste, is usable.
What you count as waste is a byproduct to me.
Yeah, it's usable.
I don't consider anything as waste anymore. Any little thing today is not called waste. That is why in Lagos State today now we are working towards trying to we had this program in the past, but people started not to follow up again on the issue of sorting of your waste from source. But we're going towards that now, looking at organized estates like Magodo, Vera, Victoria Island, Lekki, and see that we're going to give them 3 garbage bins, right, and label plastics and this. So operators will be coming to pick on different days. So, and that will definitely end up to the hands of the recyclers. Okay. So at the end of the day, over that 105 or 107 or 105 million of PET bottles we generate weekly. You understand?
Don't just go.
That I said over 65 to 70 end of the lagoon will be reduced.
Will be reduced at least drastically. Okay, moving on.
That is what we're thinking about now.
Moving on. I'm more concerned because we're rounding up very soon, but I'm concerned about people pick plastic bottles. They wash them. Women go out. You know, the issue of poverty has created a lot of business opportunity, business ventures for women, especially women. Women they can pick up sand now and start making something out of it and first sell it, all to ensure that their children are well fed. So I understand it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people pick up these bottles. You meet them on the way when you're going. They actually do not sell. They wash the bottles and they use it to make zobo, use it to make kono and all that, and they resell. And they resell. Are those items, those drinking, those things you drink into a system, the zobo and all that, just wash it, because you know the kind of washing I'm talking about. They won't use warm water. They won't use. I'm talking about they use soap and water and all that to wash. Are these things hygienic? Are the bottles clean, as it were?
Well, I'll say sometimes on my own, if I use a bottle, I tend to reuse it.
Yes.
I do that at all. Yes. I do that as well. Like if I use it in my house, I buy a bottle of water, I take it into my house, I rinse it well. If I want to do oil, portion my oil, especially for my daughter not to use everything in one.
Let me ask you a question. When you go to market, to buy palm oil and groundnut oil,
I take mine. I take my keg.
You take your bottle.
No, I don't even take my bottle. I take a keg.
No. You see, the marketers, the market women, they will sell to you those plastics.
Yes, exactly. That's
so
why
as she said, why can't you go back to that market with your safe bottles and let them turn the palm oil
for you,
kerosene?
Hasn't it been infected? That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not been. No. You mentioned.
It's not.
No, you mentioned that you have already washed.
I'm even talking about the one they used to sell zobo and all that to us. You know, they've washed them. I know.
Yes.
And they put the zobo in it and they sell.
Once the plastic has been washed and it's well cleansed with water, it's okay for you to reuse.
Okay.
I would not say it's been
Because I'm more concerned. I'm more concerned about the kind of place where they pick up these bottles from. I met a woman one day somewhere around Bagada, and she was looking into the bushes beside that canal. She was looking into the bushes and she was picking.
No, we should encourage reuse.
We should encourage.
Yes, I know. Of course, I know. We should
encourage the reuse. It depends on what they use the bottles for. I also know that. So people sell these bottles to be reused.
Yes.
They take it in the market and they have
and they sell. Exactly.
And I understand the fact that the sellers actually look out for the ones that are clean.
Yes.
They would not take the
ones that are
really dirty.
Yes.
So to an extent, if the ever bottle is with water, what they do is they wash it and rinse it. So at the point in time when it's being washed and properly rinsed with water, I wouldn't say it's contaminated.
It's contaminated. So it's okay for reuse. So what we're saying right now, what you're going to be saying to people, because I know that he started with it, but I wanted you to conclude. What you're saying to people now is, when you have your bottle and you use your bottle of water, rather than throwing it away, take it back home and wash it, rinse it very well, and reuse it. What are some of the things, because you mentioned kerosene?
No, let me say this here.
Yes.
Look at how many times in a year do you go to market?
Almost twice a week.
No. Look at how many times in a year.
Yes, definitely.
And look at how much they sell to you.
Yes.
The plastics. Now, by the time you go back to the market with your own bottle, see how much you will have saved in a year. That can pay your children's school fees. Why are we wasteful in this country?
That's another thing.
You understand?
We don't look at that.
Yes, no, that's what I mean. That is the advocacy. That is the advocacy we in the Lagos State Cleaner Lagos Initiative we've been doing all along. Look at how many times in a year you go to market and see how much you will save in a year by not buying the plastics from the market women, but by you taking your own plastics. I can tell you that with the amount you will have saved can pay your children's school fees. And also another aspect I want to say just for 1 minute. When you go to market today, you want to buy pepper, they give you a nylon. You want to buy onions, they give you a nylon. You want to buy crayfish, they give you a nylon. You want to buy this, they give you a nylon. At the end of the day, you get up with about 10 nylons. With about 10 nylons. When you turn all these things and you want to cook, where do they end up?
In the dustbin. I actually store nylon.
So by the time you save all those nylons and go to market with 1 nylon, instead of 10, buy all those things and put in 1 nylon. You will have saved about 9 nylons, saving the environment, protecting the environment, and saving many lives. Look into that.
Not just yours, not just your families, but you're saving a lot.
Many lives, because those nylons are not getting into the drainage channels upwards to the lagoon. No. So these are the things we have been going around to talk about.
Apart from even collecting the nylons, at times you can refuse it. Sometimes I go like, I want to buy Indomie and want to get like, so don't worry, I'll take the Indomie. I have my handbag, put it in my handbag.
Definitely.
And I just
sometimes if you know you cannot reuse it, you just have to refuse it. That's just it. So don't just accumulate
nylons
already in the environment.
Because you are destroying the environment.
Yes.
And you are affecting many lives. Negatively. Not positively.
Quite interesting discussion this morning. I'm sure that you've enjoyed yourself as much as I have. We've learned a lot. You can reuse your bottle, you can reuse your nylon, you can actually save yourself. Take a nylon to the market, or take a small plastic bowl. If you're going to buy pepper, why not take the bowl which you're going to use to grind the pepper to the market and just buy it into it? Take a whole sack and put your things, store it properly, so that when you get back home, you don't have to buy they've given you a lot of nylons that you just end up throwing somewhere, and then it ends up somewhere else, affecting public health, as has been discovered this morning. And then you discovered this morning that we said on Tuesday we talk business. So we've introduced another line of business this morning. We've talked about collection of plastic waste is actually a means of livelihood for some people, and quite lucrative as well. So if you're willing to go into this line of business, you've been eyeing all those bottles in your office, you just see that people just keep buying bottles of drinks and water, you can just start something with it. Start another means of life, another means of making money. You just start storing it up, and then you have a place to sell. Look for any recycling company around you. You sell to them. You can go to any of the government. Very soon there's going to be a government centers where you can submit some of these things. So
like a buyback, they're going to give you something.
So they're going to give you something in return. So there's a reward system. You give us your plastic, we give you a reward. But you can look for the recyclers for now until that starts and begin to give back some of these bottles. They buy them from you, and don't sell to malams. Don't sell to just anybody on the street. Just look for people who are going to use it for something properly, and then you give it to them, and then you can reuse them yourself. Your plastic bottle you use for your kerosene, you use for your oil, you use for your liquid soap, your bleach, and those things that we use in the house. Okay, as much as possible. I'm sure that you've learned a lot this morning. We've had with us in the studio Engineer Abiodun Shabi, and we've also had with us Miss Omo Alokwe. Thank you so much for coming. In a couple of weeks we're going to have them back again, because our environment is really suffering. So we need to look at now the effects of nylon. We've talked about plastic. Let's look at nylon. Let's talk about how to manage your nylon waste. Let's look at how to actually package your waste properly. We'll be looking at that in a couple of weeks. Thank you for coming on the show. We're going into the next segment of the show. We take this quick break. When we come back, we introduce our next guest. Please stay with us.
The need to redouble global efforts to beat plastic pollution comes in the wake of a research at a university in Hawaii, the United States, which indicates that as plastic decay, they emit trace of methane and phthalate, two powerful greenhouse gases. The emission occur when plastic materials are exposed to ambient solar radiation, whether in water or in the air. But in air, emission rates are much higher.
What we discovered basically that greenhouse gases is being produced when plastic is exposed under solar radiation and ambient temperature. As plastic degrades, the surface area increases, and then the amount of gases that is being released is even higher with time.
As of today, we have over 8.3 billion metric tons of plastics all over the world that needs to be catered for, and that is being left not properly disposed, and thereby endangering our environment, endangering our health. And that's why we are out to say stop the single plastic use. Plastic use mainly is the polyethylene, which releases the ethylene gas, which is one of the poisonous gases released into the atmosphere.
Plastic pollution in the Nigerian environment, like elsewhere in the world, is quite on the increase and really alarming. It's a worrisome trend, because plastics, when they stay in the environment, they are known to they do not biodegrade for several years. It takes like 450 years for plastics to biodegrade in the environment. So if you have something stay in the environment that long, it's going to impact on so many aspects of the environment.
The research shows that plastic represents an unrecognized source of climate-relevant trace gases are expected to increase as more plastic are produced and accumulated in the environment. But what is the situation in Nigeria, especially the commercial city of Lagos, where plastic pollution is a great environmental degradation?
The Lagos state government needs to do more. We have so many plastic manufacturing companies, the pure water nylons, that's LDPE, HDPE. We also have high density